You might want to mute me for this bird, and I don't think you want to hear me comms. I can't hear you because I muted you, but I think you best know this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the final round of the season here at the British GP. And as it is, in reality, it is rated. So it is rated in qualifiers. So interested to know what the race is going to be like then, as it is into conditions there for all the drivers. So it shouldn't be too bad out there, but I think we're going to see a good, interesting qualifying session. And let's see what happens in Q2 and Q3. So, like in reality, looking outside my window, it is raining as well here in England, so no surprise there. And we'll see who's the first driver that comes out of track then. So I need my weatherman, and the weatherman is usually Het Bompier. And Het Bompier, who finished P7 at the Monaco Grand Prix, as we've got Papa and Strauss out there on track. And I'm going to read you the championship standings. So, as you already know, Ferg is our new champion. Duval, sadly for him, he couldn't make it 3 consecutive World Championships. So we'll have to take defeat on that one. And that goes to Ferg. So Ferg then needed the championship. He's won it. And AJ in second place. I think he's got second place secured ahead of Nathan Booth. A Duval in P4, the defending championship from 2 seasons ago. Harvey in P5 did a good job for himself. Giroux, who missed out a few races because of his exams. Mark in P7 ahead of iNemo. India Jesus in P9. He won a race in Bahrain, the very early start of the season. Het Bompier, who's done a fantastic job in the last few races. I remember he got two podiums in the last few races and some decent points to his name too. And that he's put up into 10th place after being outside the top 10 mostly. So he's got Louis Ladd, and Louis Ladd is not here tonight. He's replaced by Isero Knight, who's in the Renault. And Knight was in the Red Bull last week, who finished in P5, I think. So he had a decent result last week. Very is Het Bompier's closest competitor, 92 points, and they're separated by 22 points. So can Het Bompier keep 10th place? Because I think realistically only Very can take him outside the top 10, and Very needs a really good result tonight to ensure his position in the top 10. Val Fiori in P13, Mercedes driver, ahead of Danny Boy, which is 71 points, and 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th are separated by 3 points, so all to play in the midfield. So Val Fiori, Danny Boy, Strauss, Steiny, Troyer and Cartboy, they're separated by about 6 points, so there's a lot to play for the midfield then, as we go on board with Strauss as he's about to start his first flying lap in the AlphaTauri, and Cartboy's in P18 and Krishna's in P19, and Isero Cohen is not racing tonight and he is down in P20. Sad season for Isero Cohen, but hopefully he can find more rhythm in next season's race, which will probably go on into 2021's games, so we'll see Cohen back then. Strauss does a 30.4 in the first sector. Now I have no idea what sector times they should be doing in the first, second and middle, but I think it should be a 33, 35 in the intermediate conditions. I know it's either a 40, but it looks like we're having some internet connection issues with Cartboy, who keeps coming in and coming out of the session, so hopefully he can sort himself out. Strauss then off the throttle in Cops is full throttle in qualifying, and obviously needs to meet the conditions. He needs to lift off, otherwise he'll spin the rear tyres up. Takes it nicely through Magnus and Beckett as we come out of that one, and his middle sector is going to be a 10.7 for him, so will stay on board with him as he makes his way towards Stowe. It is Stowe, so coming around the right-hander then takes it very nicely. And what about the exit? Can be very easy to lose traction coming out that corner, especially these 3 corners, the slow speed corners. Let's see how he takes them. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult in the drive too, with the rear end wanting to step out on him. Looks really nice so far. Looks like somebody's just hit the wall. That is Giroud Vizza. He was about to start his first flying lap, and Giroud Vizza lost traction at the exit of the last corner and almost put himself in the wall. I don't know if he hit the wall or not, but Harvey Lee is setting the benchmark. Yes, he did hit the wall because there's an end plate momentarily on the track. So it's a 35.1. Danny Boy's in second place with a 37.0. 1.9 separated first and second. There's Total P's, our reserve driver for Red Bull, making his debut for Red Bull, and this will be his only race here because it's the last race of the season. So let's see what Total P's can do. I've not raced with him for quite a while, so let's see how his pace has transformed as he makes his way towards the slowest last 3 corners on the track. And AJ's popped himself in third place, dual in P2, and Total P's goes into P4, separated by 3 tenths between himself and Harvey Lees. There's an Alfa Romeo next across the line. That is Indian Jesus in the Ferrari, as Total P's has spun coming out of the second corner. And I think he was going for another lap, because doing a second lap on the intermediates is much better than your first one, because obviously that's a Ferrari who's gone straight into the wall. So it looks like a few people who are struggling. That's Indian Jesus, who spun where Max Verstappen spun back in 2015. So quite a few drivers struggling out there tonight. It should be an interesting race then. And guess what? He's also got this lap and next lap invalidated it. So Indian Jesus then might consider wants to go back to the pits. Mark in P4 ahead of his teammate P5. Strauss done a second lap, he's in P7. Giroud Vizza, where is he? 13th place, obviously hit the wall. As Ted Bonpier moves himself up into 10th place with a 36.9. Who else is out there? We've got a very on a lap into the first sector. He goes with a 30.3. Krishna coming around Cops. You can see him sliding just a bit on entry, but mid corner. But the exit was fine as he makes his way towards Magnus and Beckers now. Let's see how he takes this one. Very nice indeed. Follows the line, keeps his rhythm. Navigates his way safely around that corner. And there's a 10.1 in the middle sector for him. And now he makes his way towards Stowe. The fast right-hander. AJ's gone to P5. Mark up into P4. Time's getting better, but Harvey Lee's there with a 35.1. What's Kushner going to do with the Red Bull coming around the penultimate corner now? And here's the final corner. What can he do? This is going to be a 36.8, and he moves himself into 11th place in between Danny Boy and Bonpier. So where's Very there? Very is coming around the penultimate corner, and let's see what lap time he can set as he squirms his way around the final corner. And that is P8. Despite that moment coming out the final 2 corners, goes P8. So there's a lot more time. As look at that, third goes quickest with a 134.8. Seaboil Gamer is P2 with a 35.1, and that's matched with Harvey Lee's. So he's matched the exact same lap time as Harvey Lee's. Troye is out there. What's he going to do? Coming towards Magnus and Beckett's now, and he loses momentum coming into Magnus and Beckett's then. So I think stays on his lap time. Now, what's his middle sector going to be? A 10.6, and that's the slowest middle sector I've seen so far. Stanley up into P15 with a 41.0 as Harvey Lees takes back first place. Now, if you remember last season, Harvey Lees won. Can he win the British GP here tonight? I know he likes this track, but he took the lead off Ferg last season. Can he do it again? Here's Troye then as he makes his way around the final corner. What's the Williams driver going to set? It's going to be a 37.0, and sadly for him that's going to be P15. So I might consider want to get to try and improve and get up into out of the drop zone. Dual up into P4 with a 35.4, 1 thousandths quicker than Total P's in the Red Bull. Total P's is improving in the middle sector. He's gone 4 tenths quicker than his personal best. So let's see what he can do then as he makes his way towards the last corner now. What's it going to be? That's going to be second place. That's a really good lap time for the Red Bull driver. Only a few hundreds quicker than Ferg in P3. And Icerow Knight into P13. Carboy up into P10. He's just set his best lap time as Ferg takes back first place. So their trading lap times is Harvey Lees and CRL Ferg, also known as Relentless Ferg. So who was I watching before then? Danny Boy has invalidated his lap time. Choye making his way to the first corner. That's not the first corner, got confused there. That's Maggins and Becky's. He's gone 3/10 quicker in the first sector, so a big improvement for Choye. And guess what? He's 1 second quicker now in the middle sector, so he's found a lot of time in the Williams, and let's see what he can do then as he makes his way towards Stowe. I will check the comments soon. Just bear with me for a few seconds as he makes his way now towards the last 3 corners. He's got to be really careful here because these are the main traction zones. And who's just got up a place? Is that the Mercedes of Nathan has popped himself into 6th place at Bonpier in P8. What's Choye going to do? He puts his Williams in P13. It's an improvement, but I think he still needs to improve just to be on the safe side. Here's Krishna. He's 3/10 quicker in the middle sector. That's his teammate Total P's behind him. Jeroen Visser is in the pits. Foul Fury is still, well, hasn't set a lap time yet, but he's on his out lap now. As Krishna makes his way towards the last 3 corners. I don't know what Total P's is doing because he's giving his teammate a slight distraction. As Krishna then comes up to the line, P16, not good enough, and he needs to improve that ASAP. What about Total P's then? Both Red Bulls following each other as Total P's then swerving through the first corner. Goes off the track and invalidates, so making quite a few mistakes as Mark then makes his way towards the last corner. He almost drops the car, and that is 4th place with a 35.1. So as you can see on the left hand side of your screen, and Ferg is retired in the pit lane. Got a bit excited for a moment there, but it is a retirement in the pit lane. Het Bonpier, what's he going to do as he comes across the line? Is P6 for the Haas driver, so good lap time from him. And where is the other drivers? There's Strauss going for his 5th lap, or just completed his 5th lap. Stanley is not on a lap time. Cartboy is coming to the first sector. He's a 10th up, is Cartboy, so we'll stay on board with him. And what will he do? Cartboy, very interested this season because I only remember him shining once at the Grand Prix. That was in Austria. If you remember when he was fighting for the lead, and that was the only time we saw him at the top 4 fighting. So I had high hopes for him, but maybe he's invalidated on that lap time. But I think maybe Austria is this really good track, and he's just I don't know how to put it, but we only saw him once, and sadly ended in tears because made contact with Indian Jesus when he didn't have to because he had a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings out there in Austria as usual. But Carboy didn't have to risk making that move, and sadly he didn't go well. He could have won the race on his appearance, but oh well, things don't go well at all or go to plan. We're on board with AJ then. Talk about things don't go to plan. He's in 2nd place after his brother being in 2nd place for a while in the championship. AJ has managed to find some pace and rhythm to go back up there, and race is dry luckily, so it should be an interesting race then. So hello Brady Pollock, Nathan and Het Bonpier. Thank you Het Bonpier, my weatherman. Talk about Het Bonpier down in P7. For the first few races he was just on and off. Then in the middle of the season he started to pump in really good qualifying results, and it didn't go well. It didn't go his way, such as Spain and France. That's the main ones I remember. I'm pretty sure there's more, but I can't exactly remember what tracks there were. Then ever since he's put his act together, he's just been absolutely mighty. He's got 2 podiums, one in which in Hungary, and the other one I can't quite remember where else. Might have been USA, I'm not quite sure. It might have been USA, but he's got 2 podiums on the trot, and he's done a fantastic job as Choye moved himself up into P10. Choye has been an interesting one as well, because if you remember on his debut in Spain he did a fantastic job to finish in P5 or P4 after starting outside the top 10, possibly getting knocked out of Q1 if I remember, along with Jeroen Visser. Talk about Jeroen Visser. He's down there in P20 and about to start his lap time, so the only driver that hasn't set a lap time yet is going for one, and he makes his way to the first, the second corner, a bit tentative, makes his way now towards the braking, so you can see him sliding from one side to another. Look at that, they just wanted to step out on him as he applies the throttle. Total P's has retired knowing he's safe. Harvey Lees is still in the pits, so preferably if it is raining in Q2 and Q3 you only want to use one set of tyres in Q1 if you can help it. But for people like, I don't know, AJ, Strauss, Choye, I say about interesting. P10 downwards, might want to consider going out on a brand new set, but I think somebody's just made a mistake ahead. Who's that car ahead of us? That's a Williams, of course. And that Williams is Choye. I was talking about him, and I think he's on his in lap back to the pitch. He's done 4 laps on those tyres. Might have made a mistake, or has he run out of fuel? Yes, he's run out of fuel, so sadly for him, he's run out of fuel. There's 3 minutes left to go in this session. He's currently down in P12. He needs to make it back to the pits as quick as he possibly can to ensure his safety into Q2. And it's a 9.4 in the middle sector from Jeroen Visser then, as he makes his way down the hanger straight, where we see fantastic moves and overtakes around here in the past and in league racing history too. Coming out of there, let's see what he could do in the last 3 corners then. This will be the most difficult part of the track, being slow speed corners and harder to apply traction, especially in the wet conditions. Let's see what he could do then, and it's P13. Right, is that going to be enough to make his way through to Q2? AJ does not improve and is going to go for another lap. So AJ, second man in the championship, obviously he's on wheel. He needs Harvey Lees has retired as his teammate Stanley almost loses traction coming out of turn 4 and turn 5, so he's going to be really careful as now he makes his way towards Brooklands. This could be a 30.2, so despite those little mistakes he's still improving in the first sector, so let's see what he can do then. Currently in the drop zone is Stanley with a 36.0. Remember, Stanley got a podium back in Monza and he almost loses it at the exit of Luffield. Yeah, he got a podium in Monza, his first podium after getting up some first lap contact, having to pit again, but still managed to make his way back to the podium to finish in P3. He was leading the race, but obviously had a 3-second time penalty. That demoted him down to P3. And remember in Belgium, he scored P4, so Stanley has scored some good points this season. He's also made a few mistakes as well, with a 9.6 in the middle sector. We saw Jeroen Visser doing 9.4, so I dare say this middle sector and this lap alone is not strong enough unless he can find some time in this last sector then. So making his way through Stowe, now headed towards the last 3 corners. Who's that? That's somebody's just, that's an Alfa Romeo. Who is it? Let me go on board with him. Is that AJ? Nope, it's his teammate Danny Boy. So Danny Boy has somehow spun coming out nearly in the pit lane. And where is Steiny? Steiny 2/10 quicker, but sadly for him, he's not improved. This will be his last lap, so all or nothing for Steiny. Thankfully, Val Fiori gets out of the way, and Val Fiori is coming out for another go. In fact, is Val Fiori's just came out, and I dare say he won't make it for another lap. Yeah, that's it. I think qualifying's done for Val Fiori because he came out way too late, so I think Val Fiori then might have to go back into pit lane and hope that other people don't improve on their lap times. There's Jeroen Visser going for another lap. What about Papine Strauss? What's he doing? It's a 29.9 in the first set. So where's AJ? AJ making his way to the first corner. AJ's in massive trouble, and this will be his last lap. As you can see, fighting with the car in the spray, aquaplaning in the wet conditions. Coming through turn 4 now, the slow speed corners, this could be really difficult traction. I expect the back end to step out. You can be really careful through here. Now we can go full throttle on there. What about somebody's just moved up? Is that Het Bompier? Het Bompier's just crossed the line to go up into P9. He's got this last lap to make any gains. AJ's 3/10 down in the first sector and he's backed out of it. So I think that's, he's not backed out of it. He's turned off the ERS so he doesn't use the extra power and light up the rear tyres, which is quite smart. C Royal Gamer has gone first place with a 34.4, so good lap time from the Dutchman. And somebody's just moved up. Steiny is very safe now. He'll be very comfortable with that lap time, and it's a 35.1, so good job from the German driver. Strauss has crossed the line and he's crashed on the line. AJ 6/10 down, so sadly for him, AJ is knocked out of Q2. Q1, sorry. What's happened to ISO Knight? Knight's crashed and Knight made it through to Q2. So Knight won't participate into the next qualifying session despite making it through to Q2. So we'll have 14 drivers participating, as there's a spinner in the background. That is CRL Krishna. and that is it for him. So your driver's knocked out. There's 3 drivers who's crashed across the line. That's a Williams as well. No, it's the AlphaTauri. So Iceron Knight, Hebompier has just popped himself into 4th place. Good lap time from him. There he is then, the Dutchman, looking really comfortable in these conditions, but bearing in mind he's used 2 sets of intermediates. So depending what the conditions will be like in Q2 and Q3, he's going to have to make sure he doesn't burn out too many intermediate tyres. Alright then, so Iceron Knight, Javine Visser, Pepijn Strauss, AJ Wuhan, Krishna and Danny Boy have all been knocked out of Q1. Both Alfa Romeos are knocked out of Q1. This is a big contrast to Monaco, especially when Nathan being knocked out of Q1, the other brother being knocked out of Q1, and now the other one is also knocked out of Q1. So it looks like a reoccurring theme between AJ and Nathan, because every time a brother has a horrible race, the other brother does well, and it goes vice versa. So Steve Royal Gamer then, 1/10 quicker than Ferg, Harvey Lees in P3, Hebompier in P4, Total P's in P5, Indian Jesus in P6, Nathan in P7, Dual P8, Stanley in P9, Mark in P10, Cartboy in P11, Very in P12, Foul Fury P13, Troy A P14. The top 14 will make it through, and Iceron Knight, despite making it through to Q2, he will not participate because his car has lost a wheel. And if you lose the wheel, you can't participate to the next session. So I think Knight will be kicking himself knowing he was safe and didn't have to make those risks. Yep, it's raining again in Q2. So guess what? Bompier said it's dry for the race. So the top 10 can start whatever tyres they want to. So bingo for them. But obviously they're still going to make it through the top 10. But only 14 drivers in this session. It's supposed to be 15, but Iceron Knight went for a spin. Alright then lads, so we've got some cars coming out of the pit lane. Steve Royal Gamer, who went quickest in Q1, is out there first, so it looks like wants to be the first driver to be out there to do a flying lap then. Trying the race, so they won't have to bother saving intermediate tyres for the race. I think you get an extra set anyways, don't you? Not quite sure with the wet conditions. Ferg, Duwell and Mark left in the pits. Hebompier has left the session, so hopefully he's got a backup with that, which he should do. It was a good race last season at the British GP. It was Ferg versus Harvey Lees. Harvey Lees got his first win. Oh yeah, Harvey has got a win this season, has he? He's been close to getting a win this season, but sadly he's just hasn't gone to plan whatsoever. I really hope he gets a win, but it's the last race of the season, so he's got to give it all he can in the last race. Could have won in USA, France, Hungary, but sadly it didn't really go his way, especially with the wet conditions at the wrong time, at the wrong place. Especially the wrong place because he missed the pit lane after it started raining, and obviously second place was able to pit and do a massive undercut on him. Here's Steve Royal Gamer then, first and second corner. Steve Royal Gamer was my driver of the day last week because he started in 11th place and I think he finished in P4. He did mediums to softs and he took the mediums a hell of a long way at the Monaco Grand Prix. I think he went the longest out of anybody on those medium compound tyres, if I remember correctly. So, and he had the soft tyres towards the end of the race, and he was closing in on Ferg and ISO Knight. I don't think it was possible to get a podium because he was a bit too far away, and when he got there it was the last lap anyway, and he took P4 away from Knight because of Knight's penalties. But he did a fantastic job to get to P4, and that was the second race, I believe. He had his first one in USA, and the next one was obviously in Monaco. So welcome, Steve Royal Gamer. He's done well so far. I can't exactly remember what happened in USA to Steve Royal Gamer. I don't know if he scored points or not, but judging by the standings, I think he did score a bit of points. So 9.4 in the middle sector from him, and he makes his way now towards Stowe. Takes it through 6th gear through there. Let's see what he could do now towards the last 3 corners. It's a slight lock up on entry, but obviously no ABS in these conditions are really effective because you can slow the car down easily compared to ABS. And it's a 35.6 for Steve Royal Gamer. Very then next to cross the line with a Ferrari right behind him. I take it that's Indian Jesus because he's the only Ferrari left in this session. Very crossed the line now to go P2, 36.6, and Indian Jesus with a 36.0 goes up into P2. A Haas driver next across the line, and that's Cartboy, followed by a McLaren driver, which is Steiny. Next across the line is Farrell Fury. He goes up into P6 with a 36.7. Here is Nathan with a 36.2. He goes up into 3rd place. Next across the line is a Williams about to start his flying lap. Here comes Ferg then. Goes up into P2. 3/10 shy of Steve Royal Gamer. Troye in the Williams has invalidated his lap time. Dewell pops himself up into P7. Harvey Lees is on his out lap. CRL Mark makes his way towards the line. He beats his teammate by 400ths and puts himself up into P2. Yellow flags around this section of the track, and that's cleared up rather quickly, thankfully for the drivers. So yet to set a lap time is Total P's. Het Bompier is having a few internet connection issues at the worst possible time. 30.0 for Total P's in the first sector. Where's Harvey Lees? 30.2, and yet again same with Total P's as he makes his way coming out of Brooklands. Troye is about to cross the line, I think. Here he is then. What lap time can he set? He sets a... that was his teammate, I think. Yeah, it was his teammate because he's done 2 laps on those intermediate tyres. Troye has invalidated his lap time, so we'll have to go through it again. Plenty of time left in this session. Obviously you could do more than 1 lap on these, so you can do about 3 or 4. Indy Jesus pops himself up into P4 with a 36.0, so good lap time from him. Next across the line is a McLaren driver, and that McLaren is Steiny. I think he stays where he is. Farrell Fury next across the line, stays P10. Nathan is next across the line. What can he do? And that is going to be P5 still, as Total P's then makes his way towards the final corner. Let's see what he could do. It's a 35.9. He puts himself in between both racing points. That's P3 for Total P's, so good job from him. And Harvey Lees, what's gone on? What's gone off? Apparently Mark's gone quickest, but he's not moved up the leaderboard. Yeah, Mark has not set the fastest lap time. It's still a 35.9. That belongs to Steve Royal Gamer, as Ferg has had it off. He was 1/10 quicker, but some ways had an off. So Harvey Lee's down to P7 then. Looks like he's in a bit of trouble after securing himself in the top 3 last time out. So Harvey Lee's then needs to find an improvement. You can see the short shifting going on with Total P's. Make sure he doesn't light up the rear tyres and make sure he gets traction. Hell, Het Bompier, I feel so sorry for him. Steve Royal Gamer goes quicker with a 35.4. He goes quicker and quicker, and he's 4/10 quicker than CRL Ferg down in P2. So Steve Royal Gamer is on fire at the moment, at least. And Total P's then makes his way towards the end of the middle sector. Indian Jesus has gone P2 with a 35.7, so 3/10 slower than Steve Royal Gamer. Total P's has improved his middle sector. And Nathan's coming back in the pits. Farrell Fury's out there. Let's see what he can do. Farrell Fury goes into P7. He's just behind his teammates, so good lap time from the Irishman. as Total Peace then makes his way towards the last 3 corners. That's a Hash driver ahead of us. Hopefully it won't affect him, which I don't think it will. As Total Peace then makes his way towards P2 with a 35.7, 8 thousandths quicker than Indian Jesus. Double up into P7 then in the AlphaTauri. There he is. And Harvey Lees then is under big pressure because he's down in P9 and definitely needs to find in time to improve. Here's Troy A. He finally sets a lap time of a 37.1, but sadly for him he's half a second off Berry, so he needs to find an improvement somewhere. And Het Bompier is in big trouble because of his internet connection issue has hindered him, so hopefully he can get out there and do a flying lap time, because obviously having internet problems is the worst thing, being on PS4 or any other console, and especially our league race. Hopefully he can get that sorted, because it's not going to do him any favours whatsoever. The Indian Jesus in P3 has done a fantastic job for Ferrari. Total Peace has also done a fantastic job down in P2. CRL first, going for another one, but as you can see he's just sliding through Luffield. Haven't seen his first sector, so I can't compare it to his or anyone's lap time. So Very is on an out lap. Who else is out there? We've got quite a few out there, as CRL Ferg has invalidated his lap time. Val Fury finds himself in the gravel, so he's made a mistake coming out the last corner, probably spun the car, and he's still got plenty of time left in this session, but Het Bompier is having massive troubles. I'm pretty sure he's running out of invites, so whoever's knocked out of Q1, give Het Bompier a few invites please, because he's going to run out of invites soon. There he is, they're Very coming to the first sector. Is not doing a lap time. Is he on a brand new set of softs? Intermediates? Yes he is. He's on a brand new set of the intermediate tyres, so he's sacrificed to one of his tyres for Q3. Is currently down in P12, needs to find about 3/10 to get inside the top 10. Het Bompier, hopefully he can get himself in the qualifying session, because there's 4.5 minutes left to go. He ain't gonna be happy. Jeroen Visser says, let's see how this race plans out. Jeroen, if you don't mind, give Het Bompier a few lap invites, because he's gonna run out of invites anytime soon. So the drivers I dare say at risk is P7 downwards. That's who I say is at risk. And Het Bompier is finally on the track, and we'll get about 2 lap times to do, so hopefully those 2 lap times will put him in a good position to make sure he gets himself into Q3. Very coming around the first 2 corners. The Williams driver gets lashed out of the way, so does the Mercedes driver. Makes his way towards the turn 3. Now through turn 4, bring it to the right, then swoop it to the left. Traction is really crucial on this part of the track, especially with the low speed corners. You can see him sliding coming out of turn 5. You can be very careful. Now coming through turn 6, what's this first sector? His first sector is going to be a 30.5, and he's 18. He's invalidated his lap time. Took too much curb on entry towards Brooklands, and sadly that lap time is down the drain. What about Steiny then? Steiny through the first sector. We didn't get to see the first sector. Makes his way now towards Luffield, another difficult part of the track, especially in the wet conditions. Short shifting his way through the gears, on the curb, get back on the throttle, full throttle now, all the way towards Cops, and I'm pretty sure Cops, I think you have to lift off, don't you? Or do you brake slightly? Yeah, you brake slightly through Cops. It looks a bit tentative when he drives that car around, and so makes his way now towards Magnus and Beckett's. Nicely through there, no mistakes whatsoever. Oh, Steiny may have jinxed him, and Steiny then oversteers off the track, and he's going to have to go for another lap. Currently down in P11. Very's out there again, but I think he's going to go for his second flying lap on the same set of inters, so let's hope this counts for him. Here's Mark, he's few hundreds down the first sector, not much, but Every 100 counts in this, especially in this league. Makes his way now towards Maggis and Beckett. There's a hash driver down there in turn 1. Is that Hebompier? He's evaluated his lap time, so I think he's got one more run left to ensure his safety into Q3, so he's under big pressure. And who was I on board with? It was Mark, wasn't it? Down in P6. He's 1/10 up in the middle sector, so looking good for him. Mark's also on a brand new set of intermediate tyres, so he's used one of them up for qualifying as he makes his way towards the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be P2, so he's definitely safe. Nathan's also on a brand new set of intermediate tyres, and the hash driver making his way down to the hangar straight. That is Hebompier. Right, one more lap left for Hebompier. If he doesn't make it, that's it for him. He's done. And the Red Bull is next to cross the line. That is Total Peace, who's about to start his flying lap. I know which Red Bull it is, but because Krishna is knocked out. Val Fury is on an out lap. His teammate's on a flying lap, so let's go aboard with Nathan. He's currently 2/10 up in the middle sector as he makes his way now towards Stowe. We've got a few cars behind us, and that's the AlphaTauri, that's Dual, followed by his teammate and a hash driver, possibly Cartboy. Cartboy is also on a brand new set of Inters, along with Harvey Lees and Hebompier too, which is obviously going to go for a brand new set because he didn't get a lap time in. So he's lost a bit of time in the third sector, has Nathan. He is up into P3. Dying stages towards qualifying. Where's Cartboy going to go? That's P7 for him. He's made it through Q3, but is he safe? Here's Dual on his last flying lap. I0 Val Fury in P10. Harvey Lees is currently knocked out of Q2, but he can do something about it because he's got purple in the middle sector. So if he keeps this off, he's going to be safe. Make sure he doesn't invalidate, make any sort of mistake whatsoever, does Harvey Lees. Can't afford any of that because he's currently knocked out in the danger zone. What's he going to be as he makes his way towards the line now? Can he keep it nice and tidy? Yes, he does. It's going to be a 35.7. Is that going to be enough to ensure his safety into Q3? Ferg, this will be his 5th lap time on these intermediate tyres, so those tyres then won't be as in good a shape as others because their tyres are much better in terms of tyre wear. And Hebompier sadly hasn't got himself into Q3. It's a 36.4, so he only had 2 lap times in Q2. Here is Very then the Renault driver, but I was on board with Cartboy, so Total P's got quickest with a 35.3. Here's Cartboy making his way towards the final sector. For one moment I thought he would dive off into the pits. That's Val Fury ahead of us. Val Fury should improve on those brand new set of intermediate tyres. Here's Val Fury towards the line. What can he do? Does not improve. Here's Cartboy. Cartboy is up into P10. And Dual is on the cusp of elimination. Steiny's got himself into P8 as ISO Fury has lost his wheel. And where's Very? Very is the only one that could knock out Dual. Will he knock out Dual? No, he won't. And Dual just safe. That is Q2 done, and the drivers are knocked out is Val Fury, Very, Hebompier and Troye. can't remember which circuit it was where it's raining for the full session but dry in the race. I think that was Hungary, but it was raining in Hungary for the whole session, but it got dry towards the end. And these drivers by now, they know what to expect on these conditions because they've done practice of Q1 and Q2 in these wet conditions, though, so they know where the grip is, they know how hard they can push, when not to apply the throttle, or when to turn in, when to brake, etc. So having experience in Q1 and Q2, these drivers should know now what they can expect and how hard they can push in this session. So I shouldn't expect to see too many mistakes, unless it's the same old if people get under pressure, which is quite common, because obviously when the nerves start jangling you start making mistakes, especially in this last Q3 session. Who is good to take pole for the final round? Most likely it's going to be CRL Gamer or Total P's. Could be CRL Ferg. He was P7 last time, or P8. Interestingly, one driver is still in the garage, and that is Nathan in P4. Yeah, it could be worse, Head Bumpy. You could have got disqualified like you did in Q2 in Monaco. Nah, I'm only kidding, Head Bumpy. Good luck for the race, mate. Head Bumpy and my weatherman for CRL. I'm going to do a full lap of silence for CRL Ferg, as seen he's the champion of CRL. So here we go then, a lap of silence for him. Turn the volume up. And this lap time is going to be a 1:35.5, and that is a lap for CRL Ferg. Total P's has validated it. CRL Gamer is a 36.4, sadly for him, as seen he was quickest in Q1 and Q2 with the 35s popping in, but he's got a 36. Carboy is up into P3 with a 36.3. Where is Harvey Lees and the rest of them? Nathan across the line now. Where is Harvey Lees? What kind of time can the Englishman do? What's he going to do? It's going to be a 31.5, and it's P2 for Harvey Lees. CRL Ferg has backed out of it. We're waiting for now for Nathan to do his flying lap time, and Steiny has validated it, so he's going to go for another one. And here is CRL Nathan then, one of the three that have not done a lap time yet. But CRL Gamer then, he's not mirrored his performance in Q1 and Q2, and the main moments in Q3. Nathan losing the back end coming into Brooklands and Luffield, so it's going to cost him a bit of time for him. But the important part of qualifying, CRL Gamer cannot deliver, and he's down in P6, so it looks like he'll have to do better than that one. Try and regain his focus and get back up there where he should belong, seen in Q1 and Q2. Nathan there making his way through Magnus and Beckett. Let's see how he takes this. Looks like he's very confident through there. Obviously he was sat out at Q1 and had to wait a long time. It's a 10.0, so not a decent middle sector from Nathan Booth. And this is good to come into stone now. Let's see what he could do through here. C Royal Gamer is up into P3, so much better lap time from him as Nathan dives straight into the pit lane, and Total P's has taken pole position by a tenth ahead of Ferg. So there it is then, almost a tenth. It's only 6 more thousand to go. So Total P's then is your man on pole position. CRL Mark has popped himself up into P5. C Royal Gamer looks like he's going to go for it again, and his end of the first sector is going to be a 30.0, 200 down in the first sector. And where is our McLaren man of Stanley? Stanley has came across the line, has put his McLaren into 8th place with a 36.2. C4 Gamer taking a lot of curb coming out of Luffield. Now he makes his way towards Cops. This is going to be a difficult one. Dark shifts through a gear, doesn't lose the back end. He almost does on that curb, still goes though. Now making his way towards Magnus and Beckett, and he loses his momentum through there, lost his rhythm, so I think he might back out of that one because I don't think he can improve. What's the middle sector going to be? He's down in the middle sector by 9/10, so I think it's best if he comes back in the pits and put on a brand new set of the intermediate tyres. So C Royal Gamer is down in P5. What about IndyG's? What's he doing down in P7? Is he on a lap? Yes, he is on a flying lap time, but bear in his mind his fuel lights on. So what will he do when he comes to pitch? Yes, he will. So the Frenchman is on an outlap then, down in P6. He won a race in Monaco. That's his second race win of the season. It's nice to see him back up there. Monaco is his track. It's a British 1, 2, 3 so far from Pease, Ferg and Harvey Lees. In these dying stages of qualifying with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, CRL Ferg is on his outlap in P2, needs about a tenth to get ahead of Total Pease. But Total Pease done a fantastic job. That was his second run on those intermediate tyres after invalidating on the first one, but thankfully he managed to sort himself out and claim pole position. Elsewhere we've got Cartboy and Nathan on their outlaps. Cartboy down in P9. Also, not to mention that he's got into Q3 yet again, has Cartboy, so good job from him. Not really seen in Q3 that much this season, but he managed to get himself in. Oh, never mind. As Deal then makes his way towards the final 2 corners to start his flying lap time. The Frenchman has a damaged finger. He has hurt his finger, so hopefully it won't be too bad for him. Looks like he's coping well with that injured finger as he makes his way towards turn 3. Takes these corners rather lovely. Doesn't light up the rear end because it's very easy to light those rear tyres up, especially through here as well. Now full throttle as soon as you exit the corner. Usually be flat out through there if it was normal circumstances. There's a 30.1 in the middle first sector, so he has improved in the first sector, and there's yellow flags down there for some reason. Let's see what. There's a lot of traffic out there. That was a Williams or Hash driver who was on a lap time, and there's Cartboy in that traffic, so hopefully Cartboy didn't get affected too much by that traffic. We'll find out as he makes his way towards the first sector. Seems to be okay, but there's a lot of cars coming out of the pit lane when he was doing a flying lap. 2 tenths up, so he's definitely okay. Go back to Duel. The Duel comes to the middle sector. It's going to be a 9.4, 1 tenth up in the middle sector, so improvements coming in, and where would this lap time put him? If he finds more pace, he can probably put himself in P5 because 1 tenth up in the middle sector is not going to be enough to get up a few places. What's he going to do now? As smooth as always, Duel makes his way towards the line, stays in a P6, but he's found more time in that last sector. Carboy has lost time in the middle sector because he was 2/10 up, but sadly for him, he's lost that time. But can he make it up in the last sector? His ERS has gone down to 0, so he's backed out of it as Carboy. Go back on board with Ferg then. Ferg then making his way towards Stowe. Can he get pole position back away from Total Peas? The McLaren gets out of the way very nicely. Now makes his way towards the last corner. Is this going to be pole? No, it's not. He's lost time by 2/10, but he's got one more lap to make it all up. This is his last lap to get a pole position. Can he get a pole position for the British GP? Duval 1/10 up in the middle in the first sector, so he's still going for it. Elsewhere, we've got Nathan on a lap, we've got Mark on a lap, we've got Harvey Lees on a lap time. There is Mark. I'll go back on board with Duval, make his way through Magnus and Beckett's. Red Bull up ahead is Total Peas. He's on his out lap, so that'll be his last flying lap for Total Peas. He's got to make this one count to be on pole position. As Duval makes his way now towards Stowe. The fuel light is popping on, so he's ran out of fuel. He's only going to do 2 laps on these tyres anyway. And what lap time is this going to be? Is it an improvement from Duval? Yes, it is. He puts himself up into P5, so he's found time. As this is a McLaren driver. That's not Harvey Lees. That is Steiny down in P9. So Steiny then has caused the yellow flags. I'm not sure what for, but Indian Jesus has put himself into P2. That's a good lap time from the German driver. He's found some pace in that Ferrari. Where's Steve Royal Gamer? He's out there somewhere on the track. There he is then. 4/10 up as Nathan is on pole. It's a 35.2. He's 2/10 quicker than Total Peas. Steve Royal Gamer makes his way towards the line. It's Paul with a 34.9 with a blistering lap time. Fantastic lap time as Mark has put himself into P4. That with a lap time at a 35.4. Where's Harvey Lees? Harvey is down in P9. That's not Harvey. Harvey's on P3 with a 35.2. Where is Ferg? Ferg's retired. Ferg will start in P7, but that's a change in the qualifying system. Total Peas, what's his lap time in the middle sector? He's 1/10 up, but is this 1/10 up going to be enough to dislodge Steve Royal Gamer's pole time? Now making his way through Stowe. Can he hold on to pole position, Steve Royal Gamer? It'll be his first pole of the season, and it'll be his best starter position of the season too, so win-win for him. Total Peas, what's he going to do? Is he going to be enough? What's he going to do? He goes up into pole with a 34.9, just takes it off by 1,000. That's unbelievable. Wasn't expecting that. I was expecting him to improve, but he's took it by 1,000. Wow, that's all I could say really. Total Peas with a 34.9. On his debut for Red Bull as well. 1,000 quicker than the Dutchman. I wonder how Royal Game will feel about that one. But it is still his best start of the season for Royal Gamers, so he shouldn't be too unhappy about it. But 1,000, that's unbelievable. Total Peas on pole with 1,000 ahead of Steve Royal Gamer. 3/10 is further back by Nathan. Harvey Lees in P4, Mark in P5. Indian Jesus P6. Ferg then has a challenge in P7. Can he win the last race of the season? Duval in P8 ahead of Stanley. Carboy in P10. We were set for an amazing race. Can't wait for this one. And bearing in mind it's dry as well, so DRS will be enabled. This is going to be a fantastic race. I'll tell you that now. Hopefully these drivers will put on a show at the last race of the season. Blue skies then. It's the first time these drivers are going to experience the dry conditions. Obviously it's dry, but they can't push too hard because they don't know what conditions feel like. The track's not rubbered in, so they can be really careful. A few laps to settle in and see what they can do. I must get this out there. I actually want to say it's been an absolute fantastic season to commentate with yet again. CRL never disappoints me. Every race has been amazing. I did miss 2 races, but you all know why. I just want to say a massive thank you for letting me commentate for CRL. I think I joined halfway through or the beginning of last season. Then I made my full debut for this one. I did do tier 2 for a few races, then got promoted to tier 1. So it's more than say a massive thank you for everybody for listening in and watching. Yes, last week was the most views I ever had with people watching. I know people watch the races afterwards because I do that myself. But yeah, I want to say to the drivers that it's been a fantastic season with the overtakes, the sportsmanship, the respect, etc. It's just it's been an absolute pleasure, and this is one of the best leagues I've commentated so far. So got it out there. I'm just waiting for the race now. So I'll take a short break before the race starts, and that's when we'll see the action for 27 laps. One driver has opted to go for the hard compound tyres with this Giroux Rizza, so expect him to go a very long way in this race because I know you can on those tyres. Majority in the mediums, some on the majority in the softs, and quite a few on the mediums. So mixed strategy from everybody in the race. We'll see which is the best strategy as we'll wait for the lights to go out. Danny Boy is our last driver to make his way to the grid. So top 5 on the mediums, Indian G, to expect him to be flying in this race, well the first part of it because he's on the soft compound tyres. Tyre wear is not too bad around here, so let's see how this all turns out then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are underway for round 15 for the British GP in Silverstone, and turns out, looks like the Red Bull has got a really good start off the line. Make our way down into tier 1. Nathan's got alongside Steve Royal Gamer. He claims second place ahead of Steve Royal Gamer. Further back, Indian Jesus moved himself up into P4, but here comes Double, also on the soft compound tyres. Indian Jesus goes down the inside of Double, makes the place up into 5th place. Got yellow flags in sector 1. That's a racing point, and that's both racing points are down into P18 and P19, so both racing points have came together and Ferg spun. So the championship, the champion this season, something's happened to him, and it's his first proper mistake this season. So what happened to him? Did both racing points make contact, I wonder? And there's Very on the back of Head Bompier, Very on the soft compound tyres, as Head Bompier's on the medium, so you expect him to be quicker at this stage of the race as they go through Cops for the first time in the dry conditions. Here's Duel, surely not going to make a move into Maggins and Beckett's. No, it's a bit too tight through there. I wouldn't imagine making a move through there, especially with the time loss as well, because if you do that you'll lose a lot of time going side by side, or allow the competitors ahead to pull away and people to get behind you as quick as they can. As here comes Duel, then goes down the inside into Stowe, and CRL Gamer will not give this up without a fight as they go side by side down into Vale. The last 3 corners, Duel tries to outbrake him, but CRL Gamer is still on the outside. They go side by side coming through the final corner, and Duel has got himself up ahead of CRL Gamer, but Carboy takes advantage of Royal Gamer because he did get a good exit coming out of there. It's allowed him to get at the back of him, and Head Bompier will go at the back of him too, as we'll settle ourselves for a minute. There's Steiny trying to go around the outside of Very into turn 4. The wall goes to for some reason. Choye has got himself ahead of Giroux Vizor, and here comes Steiny slipping through on Very, and here comes Ice09 on his teammate. What's happening with the graphics, man? This is unbelievable. And down the inside goes Ice09 on Very. They go both side by side into Brooklands and Luffield. Very makes contact with his teammate, goes into a spin. He understeered into him or carried too much speed, and that has resulted in contact. So sadly for him, as Total Peace goes out very wide, so if he continues doing that, he'll find himself a 3-second time penalty. So he can't afford to be doing that many times. But both Racing Points having a disastrous race down there in P19 and P20, both having to pit. I don't know what happened. They both made contact. Not a good last race, but there's nothing he could do now. He's got a brand new set of the soft compound tyres in his Ferg, and Total P is under pressure from Nathan Booth, and Harvey Lees is in P3. The top 3 are on the medium compound tyres. Indy Jesus down there in P4. He's on the soft compound tyres, so he'll bother the top 3 being on those soft compound tyres, so watch out for him as Harvey Lees sets the fastest lap of this race. Duel down there in P5 on the soft tyres also, along with Cartboy on the soft. So CRL Gamer, the biggest loser out of all of them, because the guys ahead are on the soft compound tyres. He got jumped by all of them. As you can see, there's gravel being laid down the track, so I wonder if both Racing Points made contact, spun, and found themselves in the gravel somewhere. Giroux are down there in P16 on those hard compound tyres. He's quite a long way back to Troye, so what happened to him? And Very down there in P70, Very on the soft compound tyres. We'll go back on board with Harvey Lees because he's on the right at the back of Nathan. Harvey Lees is looking for his first win of the season. We're going to look at the biggest losers and gainers in this race. The biggest losers are both Racing Points, down in P18 and P20. CRL Gamer, the biggest loser in the top 10, losing 5 positions from P3. He got jumped by the soft runners. He couldn't hold his ground against the soft runners, and in the result of that, he got relegated down those positions. Yes, they may come back up, but he's on the medium compound tyres. And Head Bompier has gained 5 places. What tyres is he on? He's on the medium compound tyres. So Head Bompier then in a really good position as Total Peas has already got himself a 3-second time penalty. A 3-second time penalty on lap 3. That's not what he wants whatsoever. So Nathan's got the high ground in terms of having no penalties. Somebody's just entered the pit lane, have they not? I thought I heard a car go in the pit lane. But AJ has set the fastest lap down there in P14. He's on the back of Krishna for P13. They're in a big DRS train. Steiny is right behind Het Bompier. There he is fighting for P8. We'll go back on board with second place because he's right behind Total Peas. As we make our way onto the Wellington Straight, Harvey Lees tucked in third place. Indeed, Jesus in P4 there. Nathan outbreaks himself and locks up as well, so can't afford to be doing that. But what about Steiny down there in P9? Steiny does not make a move on Het Bompier for P8. And Harvey Lees then looking really comfortable with the race pace he's got going on down there in P3. Obviously the Ferrari driver down there in P4 will put him under pressure, being on those soft compound tyres, but it won't be long before those softs will start to wear out and the mediums will come into play. So Harvey Lee shouldn't worry too much, but obviously he wants to keep that track position ahead of Indy Jesus. He's in a comfortable position down there in P3. Nathan Booth still putting P's under pressure, biding his time behind him, not making the move as quick as he can and not draining that ERS because he wants to use it for later. And Nathan's gone wide through Stowe, so that could result in picking up a warning. Krishna is right behind Danny Boy as he goes down the inside into Vale. They both make contact, but Danny Boy stays ahead of Krishna, and he's spun. While Danny Boy, I don't know if Krishna was one of the reasons that Danny Boy spun, but he's going to be down there in P18, P17, sadly for him. And Indian Jesus is calling over the back of Harvey's. Harvey's nose is on the soft compound tyres. As long as he stays in that DRS range, he's all good for the moment at least. Because it'll be difficult for Indian Jesus to make a move on those guys, being stuck in that train. Anybody else making a move down there? Don't think so. AJ is right behind Krishna. Could we see him make a move into Brooklands? No, we don't. But we'll get a better exit than him being on those soft compound tyres. The rain wasn't good for him, but he likes to drive better than the rain because he's on the wheel. And look at the red light on the back of that car. So it looks like Krishna has already drained his ERS, as you could see, and that's not good. But AJ's going to make a move. Is it going to be it's going to be risky? Of course it will be. Side by side through Beckers and Beckers, they both make contact. But AJ then, he made the move and he made it stick. So thankfully, none of them spun through there. And looks like Carboy has joined in on this DRS train down in P6. We've got Searoyal Gamer in P7 along with Het Bompia. The only drivers out of DRS range are AJ, Jerome Vizza, Danny Boy and the guys down in P last and Nathan is right behind Total P's. Literally right behind him, so it's not long before Nathan will look to make a move on the Red Bull driver. I think we could tell who's running a dry and wet setup. We've got yellow flags in sector 1. Carboy's dropped. He's spun coming out of turn 2. Did he go side by side with anybody? Because that's not a place you often see people spin unless it's in the wet conditions. But did he, I wonder, make contact with anybody, or did he lose it by himself? I don't know how he could have done it. Maybe he took too much curb through turn 2, or just went in a bit too deep in turn 1 or turn 2. I'm not quite sure what happened to him. Maybe he was stuck in that dirty air, the tyres overheated and lost grip coming out of turn 1 and turn 2. The back end stepping out and he spun and he's down there in P14. Who was he fighting? He was fighting with Het Bompia and Steiny, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. AJ's next opponent is Strauss with 1.6 seconds in behind him. Strauss has a DRS range of night and no move's going to go on into Stowe. Anybody close enough to make a move into Stowe? I think Krishna is. Krishna fancies the back of AJ. No, AJ outbreaks himself and Krishna stays ahead of AJ. And Krishna retakes the 11th place away from AJ, so he's not giving up without a fight. I look at Harvey's all over the back of Nathan. Has Total P's found his rhythm? Can he pull away from Nathan? Because looks like he was struggling a few laps ago, but I think he might have found his rhythm. But Harvey's is all over the back of Nathan. You can see getting sideways into turn 4, turn 5. Harvey's got a better exit. DRS wide open, using the ERS as well. But obviously Nathan will be using the ERS. And no moves being made down there. Maybe he could have saved that ERS because I don't think he would have overtaken him in this corner with Nathan using the ERS well. Might as well, you want to dummy your opponent because you want to make him use more ERS than you, if that makes sense. Because if you don't, you both end up losing a lot of battery, and therefore you can't use it towards the later stages of this race. So you want to make him use the ERS. There's a massive DRS train in the top 8. ISO Knight is not in this DRS train. He's right there in P9 as they go on the grass and gravel. Obviously you could do that, but obviously a few inches wider you'll be spinning out on there. And AJ has re-overtaken Krishna for P11. Obviously with those two squabbling, he's lost a bit of time towards Strauss. It's 1.3 seconds now, the gap between Strauss and AJ. And AJ's just set the fastest lap of this race as well, so looks like he's got some decent pace on his hands for tonight. And Strauss is on the back of ISO Knight fighting for P9, so Obviously Knight is not in DRS range of anybody, so it'll be a bit easier for Strauss compared to other people. But as you can see, one big DRS train for all these drivers. And here comes Strauss then, who will make a move on ISO on Knight. They go side by side. Will Knight try and hold it around the outside, which he tries to do, but he can't do. And Strauss moves up into P9 ahead of the Canadian driver. AJ bringing along his crew, which is Krishna and Choye. Do you know what? It's weird not mentioning Ferg in this race because he's usually most mentioned in these races, but looks like we're not going to mention him at all, being in P20. And I really would love to know what happens between both Racing Points, because both Racing Points have been consistent throughout the whole year, and now in the last race of the season they're both down in last place. It's really sad for them because they're looking really, really good. Stanley's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. As you can see, Nathan Booth is all over the back of Total P's, so Total P's under big pressure, also carried a 3-second time penalty on his hands, so looks like he's in really big trouble is Total P's. Nathan Booth, when will he make the overtake? Harvey Lee's got more ERS compared to Nathan Booth, and Total P's got more ERS compared to Nathan, so Nathan then, when will he make a move? Will he hold it out for a few more laps until he can make a move? How long will he wait for? I think the soft runners, we should be seeing them go to the pits rather soon. 2 more laps, I say, then the soft tyres should come in the pits. We'll find out soon. Lap 9 out of 26, a big DRS train. The soft tyres should be coming to an end slowly, and AJ all over the back of ISO 09, because ISO 09 went deep into Brooklands and Luffield. And AJ on a move here. Will he make an overtake into Cops? Yes, he will. He'll go side by side, coming into Cops. Will he make the move stick? They go side by side. Yes, he hasn't got the move done just yet because ISO 09 is still there alongside AJ. ISO 09 stays ahead of AJ. Goes on the gravel and back down the inside goes AJ. But here comes Krishna taking advantage of ISO 09. Can he take advantage of AJ too? That's the Williams and Choye go for a move on Knight, and Choye has got past Knight for P12 of this race, and Krishna couldn't get the move done on AJ. So if he got the move done on AJ, that'd be a really clever move from Krishna, because he took his time and he saw the gap, he went for it. He could have taken on 2 cars at once there. And Steve Royal Gamer all over the back of Dealwell. I expect these soft tyres to start to come to an end soon. And this is not a strategy the soft runners wanted, because the soft runners wanted to be ahead of this train, but sadly for them, it hasn't gone their way. They wanted to get ahead of these medium runners and pull a gap, then go on the medium tyres, then do the same as the medium runners are doing right now. But hasn't gone quite their way. The highest soft runner is India Jesus, and they couldn't find a way past Harvey Lee's, so I think the mediums, I dare say, are coming back into play, and they've got the higher ground. And Steiny is right behind Het Bompier. Well, he was right behind. Strauss is 3.2 seconds behind of Steiny. Krishna putting pressure on AJ ahead of him. It'll be an interesting battle to see between those two. Back on board with the battle for P1 then. Total P's under big pressure from Nathan behind. Doesn't go down the inside of this occasion, but when the top 3 will pit, well, not the top 3, when the soft runners will eventually get out of the way. But who will be the first soft runner in the pits, I wonder? Lap 11 out of 26. Those soft tyres now should be coming to an end. Pit window is open for those soft runners. It'd be interesting to see who will pit first out of those guys. But look at that, they're all over the back of Total P's. Total P's, it's got cars all over the back of him. He's the leader of this train. You can see Krishna still putting pressure on AJ ahead of him, because AJ's tyres will come to an end shortly, so those medium tyres now are working for him, and expect him to get past AJ, which he has done. There he is then, before the corner happened, but we've got a spinner. That's Steiny. I thought I saw a spin coming on, because I went on board with it for a split second, and it looks like the back end was stepping out. So Steiny then, the rear tyres have locked up, and sadly for him, he's down in P13. So he'll come into the pits at the end of this lap because there's no reason for him to stay out there. Jeroen Visser has got past Steiny, sorry. AJ has got past. AJ has got a 3-second time penalty. Duval is right behind the Ferrari driver. Around the outside goes Total Peas. Nathan has the inside line. They go side by side now as we make our way into the slow corner of Vale. Which one is later on the brakes between the two? There's a Ferrari in the pit lane. That is Indian Jesus making his pit stop from soft to medium. Nathan has muscled his way past. It's the lead. So Nathan then, as Steiny has got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That was a good move from Nathan, go down the inside. C-Royal Gamer did get that move done on Indian Jesus, but Indian Jesus was going in the pits anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. So Duval then will need to pit soon, and here comes Total Peas then. Will he make a move back on Nathan for first place again? Here he is then, goes down the inside into Brooklands. Nathan trying to stick it around the outside, which has the inside line for the next corner. Harvey leads the acting Cameron, both Belgian wheels. Total Peas gets the worst exit out of both of them, and Nathan then stays in P1. But Total Peas, when they make a move back down the inside, no, whoa. Is this going to foreshadow what's going to happen at the British Grand Prix in reality between Verstappen and Hamilton? I don't think we'll see a McLaren driver there either, but Harvey Lees is right behind Total Peas and Nathan Booth for first and second. He's looking really interested. There's a yellow flag down there. The yellow flag is for Krishna. Krishna has spun. And here comes Total Peas back on Nathan for P1 as we make our way into Stowe. They're exchanging positions, but both of them have used a lot of ERS. And around the outside goes Nathan into Vale. Harvey Lees is right behind them, waiting to pounce on them. The soft runners are starting to come to the pits of this lap. And Harvey Lees got more ERS combined to those two. AJ there will be the only driver on the soft compound tyres, but Harvey Lees can't afford to make any mistakes whatsoever. He's got C-Royal Gaming and Head Bompier. Head Bompier started down in 12th place and he's moved himself up into 5th place, so he's done a fantastic job as a Head Bompier. But Harvey Lees go down the inside of Nathan into Brooklands. They'll try to, but if you remember before, every time Harvey's tried to go for a move for the lead, it's always gone bad, but hopefully he won't end bad here tonight. He's going to bide his time. He's got to let Nathan pounce on Total Peas, and hopefully these two make contact. Indian Jesus got past Duval. So Duval has done the undercut on Harvey, Duval. AJ, the only soft runner left in this race, he will have to pit soon because we'll lose a lot of time the longer he stays out there using those soft tyres. Harvey needs to save the ERS. He can't afford to demolish it all, but because he's got to save for the next laps coming up. And Harvey goes wide. Troye is right behind AJ as AJ dives to the pits, so it makes it easier for him. If you're wondering what happened, if you just joined us and wondering what happened, both racing points, I dare say, made contact on the first lap, and that's the Mercedes who just spun. That's Foul Fury who spun and hit the wall, and that's a safety car, interestingly. Out of all the crashes I've seen, that shouldn't be a safety car or a virtual, but looks like C-Royal Gaming was all over the back of Harvey Lees before that happened. But it's benefited the medium runners a lot. I think AJ has pitted at the wrong time. He's just coming out of the pits as AJ, but this brings Ferg back into play. I know he's down in the last place, but he can still gain a few points from here on in. The medium runners will definitely pit for sure. Chiruvas are on the hards. I dare say he will go to the medium tyres or the softs. Maybe the softs. The softs can make it to the end, I think. Especially with having this safety car period. C-Royal Gamer almost lost it without baggage to Beckett. Don't worry, Steve. I've also spun the safety car before. So then I presume everybody will come into the pits from P1 to P10. We should see a gag of cars in the pit lane, making sure none of them speed. I see Royal Gamer almost hit the back of Harvey Lees. He went into neutral as well. Strauss in the pits, Troye in the pits. Where's Indian Jesus? There he is. I think Indian Jesus way too far back to undercut those guys ahead. Sadly for him, he'll see the top 10 go on the soft tyres. Judging by that, I think Nathan got held in the pit lane. Head Bompy has got ahead of Harvey Lees. Yes, he has. What's happened to Harvey Lees? He's dropped down into P4. C Royal Gamer and Het Bompier have jumped Harvey Lees. And Harvey won't be happy with that one. He knows he can win this race. I'm going to check the race director, C Royal Gamer. So, Indeed Jesus then decides to stay out P7 dual P8 Troye on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. Chiruva's on a brand new set of softs. He started on the hards. AJ in P10 on the medium compound tyres. If you just joined and wondering why Ferg and Mark are down in P18 and P20, I think they made contact. I didn't quite see it. I didn't see anything from Ferg or Mark, but they both ended up last. They both ended up last coming out of the first two corners, P19 and P20, so I think both racing points made contact. Who is going to win the British GP? Pepijn Strauss in a healthy position in P10, so what can he do down there in the P10? Dual on the medium compound tyres down there in P8, Indy Jesus in P7 on the mediums too. Chiruva's on the soft compound tyres in P11, looking really good. Danny Boy P13 on the softs, Krishna softs, Cartboy softs. Stanley might as well pit for the softs because everybody else around him was on the softs, so I think he might as well come into pits, which he doesn't. Very on the softs, Mark caught up on the softs. Farrell Fury, who we've not spoke about so far, he spun. He's the one that caused the safety car. Nobody's crashed, and he was the one that caused the safety car. And we get to see Ferg catch up then, but Ferg's got a lot of catching up to do. Everybody else in the first sector, he's just going towards cops. He's got a lot of catching up to do. I don't think he can catch up, can he? He should. Does he have a delta? I don't think he has a delta, so I think he might as well push as hard as he can, because once the leader catches up to the safety car, there's no delta, is there? So he needs to push as hard as he can to get back up there. And he's slowing down, so I think he has got a delta. And Dewell and Troye are doing a bit of naughty business down in P8 and P9, exchanging position when they shouldn't be. Good evening, Cohen. How are you, mate? Hope you're doing alright. Who's your Williams replacement? That is Troye down in P8. Look at that, the Williams in P2. Het Bompier, can he get his third podium of the season? Can C Royal Gamer get his first podium of the season? Can Harvey Lees win his first race of the season? Can Strauss get his first podium of the season? Can Total Peas get his first win and podium of the season? And his first points of the season? There's a lot of the cards for those drivers in the top 5. There's a lot on the cards. The top 5 looking for a win because they haven't got one this season. Some of them got a podium, including Bompier and Harvey Lees. But the rest of them in the top 5 are looking for a win or a podium if they want to settle for a podium. But They know Total P's has got a 3-second time penalty, and the safety car stays out for one extra lap, which will allow Ferg to catch up. Oh, he's got in the gravel, he took the curb, and Ferg is having more problems here. The British GP, I wish I didn't catch that on stream, but damn, he caught the curb, and sadly for him, gone across the gravel. I think Ferg will catch up. I think he will catch up. But at least he's got a chance in this race because he's been running last in the whole race. It's not a place you expect to see Ferg in. Ferg's a really consistent guy, but sadly we've all got to come to an end someday. Why is Ferg last? That's because I don't know. I didn't see the contact, but I dare say there was contact between Mark and Ferg into turn 1 and turn 2. Where's the Royal Gamer in the championship? It's a good question, really. Let me go check. So Ferg and Marco last place because they both made contact. I want to say both of them because they were both last place in the first and 2 corners. They both started in the top 10, and all of a sudden they both dropped down to P19 and P20. So I want to say those two made contact. And Steve Royal Gamer, he's not classified in the championship. I've not seen him somewhere, so those graphics need to be updated. Who was going to win the British Grand Prix? Will it be Pease? Will it be Steve Royal Gamer, Balpier, or Harvey Lees, or Strauss? I'm good, thank you, Kevin, mate. I'm good, thank you. So Ferg has finally caught up, but guess what? He's got warmer tyres compared to the rest because obviously he's done 2 and 3 laps around that track. So he's got more tyre temperature compared to all of these. It's going to be a straight sprint race towards the end. Who is going to win the British GP? Will it be Pede on his debut? Will it be Steve Royal Gamer on his 3rd race here? Will it be Het Bobpier looking for his 3rd consecutive podium and a win? Harvey Lees looking for his 1st win of the season. Strauss looking for his best result and his 1st podium. And off they go then. So Total P's has pulled the trigger, and Nathan Booth down in P6 will be absolutely frustrated. There's a Ferrari coming alongside him, and Indian Jesus got a 5-second time penalty for making contact with Nathan Booth. And he's lost his front wing. Yes, he has. He's lost his front wing, and they go 3 wide into turn 1. Here we go, folks. What's going to happen? Coming out of turn 1 and turn 2, there's an AlphaTauri versus a Williams, and the Williams goes down the inside into turn 3. And Dubal tried to defend from Giroux. So Dubal being on those medium compound tyres compared to the softs, but Indian Jesus then has no choice but to back out because the Williams didn't really give him a choice. So Dubal puts his AlphaTauri into P8, but here comes Giroux. Will he go down the inside of Dubal? And here comes Iso Knight and AJ and everybody else because of Indian Jesus' front wing damage. So back to the top then. Steve Royal Gamer in P2, Het Bobpier in P3, Harvey Lees in P4, Strauss in P5, Nathan is in P6. Indian Jesus got passed by Krishna, who's demoted down into P14. Nathan looking to find a way past Strauss. He could have won this race because he had the pace to be up there, but sadly he hasn't got his way. He lost out in the pit stops a lot because he got hauled up in the pit stops, and that's allowed those guys to overtake him, being further down in the pit lane. And here comes Nathan then. Go around the outside of Strauss into Stowe. Will he try and go around the outside? No, he won't. Will he do the under and over? No, he won't. Will he try and go down the inside to Vale? Yes, he does. Down the inside goes Nathan into Vale. Got to pass Strauss, but Nathan goes deep. Will that allow Strauss to come back at him around the outside? No, he doesn't. And Nathan takes back P5 away. But we've got Foul Fury who's retired, and Ferg's back in the pits. Foul Fury has crashed at the start of the pit lane, and there's Indian Jesus in the pits. So something's gone off between. Safety car again. We don't need a safety car. We need a sprint race towards the end. The more the safety car appears, the worse it gets. The worse it gets for Pease, because Pease has to pull out a 3-second gap. So the more these safety cars appear, the less chance of Pease winning this race because of those safety cars. So he's going to have to pull out a massive, huge gap ahead of those guys in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But we don't need a safety car in this race. We just want a clean race towards the end end of this Grand Prix. So Foul Fury then the only driver to retire in this session. Cohen, do you realise Steve Royal Gamer is Dutch as well, mate? Steve Royal Gamer is Dutch, so I think you wanted to root for Steve Royal Gamer and Het Bompier. This will be his best result of the season for Steve Royal Gamer if he manages to finish in P2 or claim the win. This is a driver I did not expect to be one of my predictions for winning this race, but like you said, anything could happen. Anything could happen in this race. Het Bompier could get his first win of the season as well. So Nathan Booth has a 5-second time penalty added to his name, so he's under big disadvantage. I think Indian Jesus was optimistic to get going. Those two have made contact before, and Ferg has picked up a 3-second time penalty. He's only got one penalty, and that was because of Indian Jesus hitting the back of him. Those two have made contact before, such as in Spain, where they both came side by side. Then Indian Jesus spun alongside him. Welcome everybody to the stream. I know you're coming in from Tier 2 and Tier 3. Hope your races have been good in Tier 2 and Tier 3 if you were racing or not, but if you're in Tier 2, tell me who won the race, and in Tier 3. For those who just joined, I'm wondering why Ferg is out of position down in P17. That's because I think Mark and Ferg came into contact. So that's why Ferg is down there in P17 along with his teammate. We'll find out soon. Everybody's luck has to come to an end soon, it must be said, because Ferg was on form this season, but in the last race of this season, it just hasn't gone to plan whatsoever. But at least he's won the championship, so nothing to lose really. Deluxy won Tier 3 and Derugi won Tier 2 race. Thank you for that, Makoni and Daniel. People in the chat, I know there's a lot of you, but who do you think is going to win the British Grand Prix? Everybody in the chat, vote now. Who is going to win the British GP? Who's your odds on? I'll give you the penalty system as well, so you can. Oh, Ferg's got a 6-second time. I meant Pease has got a 6-second time penalty. Oh dear, I didn't see the other penalty. Where did that come from? Let me check. What lap did that come from? Was that after the safety car? Before? Oh, there's a lot of. Oh, never mind. Then there's a lot. Probably wasn't paying attention when the penalties came out. But Ferry is in the pit, so Ferry has made a pit stop. I'm going to speak to some new drivers on the podium. It could be Steve Royal Gamer if he keeps it nice and clean. Now, he knows that the guy ahead of him has got a 6-second time penalty. He does not need to risk it all. Harvey Lees to win, Het Bompier to win, Sieb win, Steve Royal Gamer, Sieb, the Dutchman. Which Dutchman, Cohen? Which Dutchman? It's either Het Bompier or Steve Royal Gamer. Which Dutchman are you talking about? So we've got a lot of Steve Royal Gamer. We've got Daniel Collier voting for Harvey Lees to win this race. Het Bompier's name is Little Tree, isn't it? Or Tree. If the safety car comes in this lap, we'll have 4 laps of racing. I hope it comes in this lap because there was no need. Well, there was a need for a safety car in the second one, but the first one there was no need. Four Dutchmans in the top 10, and they are Steve Royal Gamer, Het Bompier, Strauss, and Jeroen Rizzer. All the Dutchmans racing in this race are in the top 10. The safety car is coming in. No, it's not. Why is Total P's dropped back then? I wonder why. It's more than 10 car lengths into between the safety car and you and your rival. Remember what Sebastian Vettel did back in 2010? Was it? Was it Sebastian Vettel or was it Mark Webber? I think it was Sebastian Vettel. He dropped back 10 car lengths. He got a penalty for it. I hope the safety car comes in because I want to see some action towards the end of this race. I want the second half of this race to be under the safety car. So most of you in the chat are rooting for Steve Royal Gamer. If I'm honest with you, I think I don't know, maybe. I think it might be Het Bompier winning this race, judging by the pace of before from Het Bompier. I think Het Bompier could be winning this race. I'm not quite sure. I say it's very unlikely that Pease will pull out a 6-second gap because he's got a 6-second time penalty, so I don't think he'll do that one. Yeah, I don't think you can get a safety car in it after this one. Please let the safety car come in because I don't want the second race. Second half of the race under the safety car. That's not how I want it to end. I hate when safety cars come out at the very end of a race. The first safety car was very unnecessary because he only lost his front wing coming out of Luffield and it was off the track anyway. They wouldn't even need a virtual safety car to clear that up. It was off the racing line, off the track, near the barriers. Marshals could jump over the fence and pick it up without being put in any harm's way. But obviously it's the games, isn't it? And AJ's got a 5-second penalty with his teammate. Don't think Total Peas will be winning this race, and off he goes then. Royal Gamer then will be on the back of him. Harvey Lee's down there in P4. Anybody to make a move? Somebody's in the pit, so somebody has opted to go in the pit, so that might be Danny Boy. Yes, it is, because he's a 5-second time penalty for severe collision with his own teammate, so he'll be dropping down into last place. We get racing yet again, and look at Nathan, optimistic to go down the inside of Harvey Lee's. They both make contact, and Nathan then very optimistic to get past Harvey. Troy A making a move on Strauss. They go side by side coming out of turn 5. Troy A has got himself into 6th place ahead of Strauss, so that was a good move from the Swedish driver. But will Strauss go back down the inside? No, he won't. He stays in 7th place, does Strauss. And how's Total P's doing down in P1? He's pulling away, but will it be enough? He's only got 3 laps to pull out a 6-second gap. And Krishna is right behind AJ. There he is then. They go side by side coming out of Luffield. They went side by side before the safety cars. And Krishna backs out of that one. AJ's on the medium compound tyres, so expect Krishna to be quicker. And those soft tyres have been behind the safety car as well, so not a lot of wear in them. Steve Royal Gamer is 1.2 seconds behind. Het Bompier, Harvey Lees could smell a victory. They know that Total Peace has got a 6-second time penalty. They need to push as hard as they can to try and get that win. It's most likely to be Steve Royal Gamer unless Het Bompier overtakes him. But obviously they can't afford to scrap too much, because if he does pull out a 6-second gap, then it'll be over for both of them, as Mark has got past Cartboy for P13. And Krishna is all over the back of AJ for P11. There's Chiroon Visser on the back of Double. Double being on those medium compound tyres. Those soft tyres are better, especially being on the safety car for two times. As Ferg has got past Cartboy. Down the inside goes Steiny on Cartboy. I think he's made the move stick, but here's Harvey Lees on the back of Steve Royal Gamer and Het Bompier fighting for P2. They're going to be pushing very hard to get past Steve Royal Gamer. because they know they can get the win. But Harvey Lees can't afford to use a lot of EOS because he still needs to save it. But bearing in mind, there's only two laps to go in this race. These drivers are going to be careful not to pick up a 3-second time penalty also, because that could be costly towards the end. They could be dropping out the podium. Troye's doing a good job down in P6. Keep an eye on him down there in P6 behind Nathan, who's 2/10 behind Harvey Lees. There he is then. But Nathan has used quite a lot of EOS. I think DRS will be enabled on the last lap, so we should see some overtaking on the very last lap, sadly. That's not what we wanted to see whatsoever, was it? But it's what we get, it's what we get. DRS is now enabled, so it's enabled on this lap. Hebompier knows Total P's got a 6-second time penalty. He knows a victory is in his grasp. Can he take it away from Total P's and C-Royal Gamer? Harvey Lees, Hebompier are the only drivers that could do it. Of course, with the drivers being Nathan and Troye, but it's most likely going to be one of these three. It's either going to be the C-Royal Gamer, Hebompier, or Harvey Lees that's going to take the victory. Nathan's done a lot of work, but sadly he's got that 5-second time penalty. It's going to hinder his progress coming towards the checkered flag. And AJ is right behind Knight, fighting for P11 or P10. Last place in the top 10. The gap is 2.8 seconds between C-Royal Gamer and Total P's. Will Hebompier get past C-Royal Gamer this lap? If he wins this race, he'll be very happy, because he came to this race not being confident because his pace. But look at that, here comes Harvey Lees. Will he go down the inside? He's run out of EOS, so I don't think so. And he will remain in P4. Nathan goes wide coming out of Stowe. One of these winners are in P2, P3 and P4. Who is going to win the British Grand Prix? Will it be will it be Hebompier, or will it be Harvey Lees, or will it be Nathan? But it's going to be unlikely, because Nathan has got a 5-second time penalty to his name, so nothing he can do about it, of course. Almost loses the car coming into turn 3. Obviously with the back end sliding as he applies the brakes, but Strauss versus Troye is also looking interesting. The battle for P6. They're going to wait to the main straight to try and make an overtake, but it looks like Mark has made a mistake coming out of turn 4. And C-Royal Gamer is going to defend for as long as he can against Hebompier. Hebompier will be pushing really hard to try and get this victory. As we make our way now into Cops, we're going to see a new race winner, regardless if any of the top 4 win. It just depends on who is going to win this race. Will it be Hebompier? Will it be C-Royal Gamer? Will it be Harvey Lees? It's most likely going to be C-Royal Gamer. And that was the last chance, I dare say, for Hebompier to get past C-Royal Gamer. So Total P's then will come across the line to win the initial British GP. C-Royal Gamer is our new race winner, and he will come across the line to win the British Grand Prix ahead of Hebompier. Harvey Lee takes 3rd place ahead of Troye. Troye, his best result yet again in P4. Strauss, his best result in P6. Duval clings on to P7. Chivu Vizza in P8. Nathan P9. Ferg P10 despite dropping to last place. Cartboy P11. AJ in P12. Indy Jesus P13. Varian P14. Mark P15. Knight P16. Steiny P17. Krishna crawls his way to the line. But we've got a brand new race winner, which is C-Royal Gamer. Congratulations to him. I bet he didn't expect to win this British Grand Prix. And neither did I, in all honesty. But congratulations to him winning the last race. And it's a Dutch 1-2. So you Dutches can be really happy because you got a 1-2. Hebompier and C-Royal Gamer. Do some donuts for us, Krishna. Do some donuts. There we go. Never fails to disappoint me. He's been doing donuts all season. I'm only kidding, Krishna. He knows that himself. But Krishna will finish in P18 then. Wow, what a race. Sadly, we had those safety cars. I really wish we didn't have those safety cars, but Only that one safety car we could have had. Oh, I didn't want to have, but oh well. It's not always going to be a good race. So Dutch Mod 2, Harvey Lees in P3, Troy A P4, Total P's in P5, Strauss in P6, along with his teammates. So both Alpha Towers getting good points. Chiruvasa in P8, Nathan P9, Ferg in P10, Cartboy, AJ, Indian, Very, Mark, Knight, Steiny, Krishna, Danny and Farrell. The 2 retirements. Oh, what are you doing? Sorry if you can hear me off camera. Driver to join this party, and here he is. This is usually it'll be like Dual, Ferg and Nathan or AJ in the party podium interviews, but we've got brand new drivers in the, well, not brand new, but one's brand new, the other 2 are familiar. And to you, Harvey Lees, hello mate, how are you?
Yo, good man, how are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad, thank you. So let's talk about your race, shall we? Qualifying, where did you start again?
I started P4, yeah.
How do you feel about that qualifying session? Do you think you could have gone better, or was P4 enough?
It was good. I hadn't done lots of practice, especially in the wet, but I like the rain, especially in quali. It's exciting. But yeah, I think I definitely could have done a lot better. Sieb and P's were just, they pulled out something mad at the end. But yeah, it wasn't my greatest lap, but I was happy with P4.
In the race, you were behind Pease and Nathan. You were biding your time, but when the safety car came out, I dare say you got held in the pit lane.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
If it wasn't for that safety car, that second safety car, do you think you could have overtaken Steve Royal Gamer and Het Bompier? Do you think there was a chance of winning that race? Do you think, mate?
Well, yeah, even for the first safety car, really, because I went for a move on Nathan. Well, I tried a few moves on Nathan early on because I knew that if I was going to do it, I had to do it early on. But it didn't really work. He was defending hard, and then they tried battling. So I just thought, let's just stay behind, see what happens, try and sneak through if they crash or whatever. But then the safety car came out, so I was thinking, right, so it's got to be full push to the end in the softs. And then, unfortunately, I got held up for like 5 more seconds than I should have. Came up behind Sieb and Het, which is a bit unlucky because I thought, because if I didn't get hold up, I would have come out behind P's and we would have won the race because he had that 6-second penalty. But I'm still happy with P3, yeah.
Let's see. How long ago was it till you got a podium, Harvey?
It was. I got a podium in Singapore, but then got demoted for penalty reasons. So it was Brazil.
How long ago?
Yeah, Brazil.
Oh, how long ago was that?
I can check, but it has been a while, so I'm pretty happy with the result because it has been a while. Yeah.
So I bet you're glad to be back on the podium, though, aren't you, mate? That's all you could have asked for.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, the win. I got the win last time in Britain, but it's good form in Britain. A win in the podium, and now last race season I'll take it on the chin and try and improve for next season because I had some unlucky moments and some moments like USA where I should have done better and I've made mistakes, but hopefully that can improve. I'm still learning. It's just I've started league racing for only a year now, so I've still got lots to learn and pace to find. Maybe take ABS off and see how it goes for next season.
Yeah, I know you've got plenty more in the bag because you've proven it for the past few times. But how have you been this season, and how have you found this season? Have you found it enjoyable, mate?
It has been like one of the most exciting and fun like seasons because I feel like I've matured and been able to recover from bad races and go into the next race stronger. Obviously, it has been probably one of the toughest because you're going in third race of the season, even fourth, I was top of the standings, and then you just have a really bad streak, and it does put you down. But I found ways to just not take it as too seriously, like be competitive, but just enjoy racing, and that's what I've done. And yeah, so it has been hard, but it's been really fun, and I can't wait for next season.
You could have got 1 or 2 wins this season. Does that bother you at all, mate? Is that on your mind, or?
I'm not gonna lie and say it's not on my mind because it really is. I think Brazil, Bahrain, today, and USA were probably the main ones where I definitely should have got more points, if not win, or like more points. But I mean, I've just realised I think I'm getting 4th in the championship now, so I'll take that definitely. Yeah, I've got to try and find some more ways to beat Ferg, Jacob, and Nathan because they've had a really strong season this year. So yeah,
I think you're definitely quick, mate. You really are quick, and you will get there sometime, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
It's alright. Thank you for joining, and congratulations at the podium. Nice to you to be back at the podium.
Yeah,
Harvey.
it's nice to talk to you, mate. Nice.
Yeah. Head Bompier, 3rd podium of the season. And before we start, can I make sure that your voice is allowed to be shared? CRL Gamer?
Yeah, I'll check it.
Your voice is allowed to be shared? Wow, go to Head Bompier. Head Bompier, 3rd podium of the season. Considering where you started and you had your qualifying issues with your connection issues, was you expecting that whatsoever, mate?
No, not at all. And I really got lucky in the race, to be fair. Like in the first lap, of course, the incident, it did gain me 5 places, I think, because I just was able to sneak through. And then, of course, just being in the big DRS train was a bit, calming, to be fair. But then soft runners pitted, and the safety car came out like 2 laps, I think, afterwards, which is really unlucky for them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I've got really lucky in pits as well. I just could go out straight ahead. I think I ghosted in Harvey as well, so that really benefited me, and
Yeah.
it all played into my hands today.
You need a bit of luck in F1, don't you, though, Head Bompier?
Yeah.
Your 3rd podium of the season. How well do you think this season's gone, or just explain it to us?
The first half is very bad. I think I was P18 in the standings at one time. But then these last 4 or 5 races, I just somehow found pace. And the second half was very good, but the first half was awful.
Well, what do you think you did to change your second half of the season? Did you practice more, or did you be patient, or did you change your driving?
No, I think it was just that I had 1 good quali in Spain, and then from there onwards, just more confidence in going after the throttle and those things.
Do you think there was a chance of victory against CRL Gamer, because you're both trying to get your first wins of the season? How much pressure is put on you to try and get the first race of the season, mate?
I mean, I thought I could hit him, especially after the first safety car, because Peace was already a bit away. But then Harvey started pressurizing me from the back as well. So I don't know if I could have held on to that P2 if the second safety car didn't come. But on the other hand, if the second safety car didn't come, I maybe could have gotten the win back.
You had a bad qualifying again, and you still managed to pull it off somehow, Monaco and this race. So Last few races have been really well. What are you expecting for next season, Het?
No clue.
No clue.
I mean, I got way more time to practice now, so because my school ends in 11 days. Then I'm free, so.
Make sure you don't practice too hard.
No, I definitely won't.
Well, I'm really glad that second half of the season has gone well, because first few races you didn't look like you were anywhere, in all honesty, in all truthness, but second half of the season you really proved yourself and got those really good points that put you in the top 10. I believe you're 10th now in the championship, right?
Yeah, I think with this result I maybe have gone up to 8th, because I think I've tied on points with iNemo.
Well, really
so
nice.
Definite 9th, but maybe 8th even.
What do you think has been your best race this season so far, Pompier?
It's between this one, Hungary, and Monaco. Because Monaco I've driven with a broken front wing from lap 6.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, I couldn't do that with a broken front wing from lap 6.
It was a pain in the ass, to be fair.
I bet it was, mate.
I'd probably say Hungary.
I say so too, mate, to be honest.
Well, great mind think alike.
Exactly. And back to Harvey, what do you think your best race this season been?
Best race of the season? I would have liked there to have been an obvious one to choose from, but we had Bahrain. Maybe Bahrain, to be honest, because I remember I came from. I had a bad quali. I was literally about to get pole, messed up. I remember you talking about it on stream, and then got a really good start. Went for a strategy that I shouldn't have gone for.
Oh.
Then we had that safety car restart, didn't we? And had a really bad incident on the lap after the safety car.
Was that this season?
Like 6 positions. Yeah, it was the first race this season. And
no
then I
way.
had to make up 6 positions with iNemo, and me and Nemo had like a big battle, but NDG's one that came second. So it's either that or Russia was good as well, because I had decent pace in the wet. Got third, so yeah, I'd say
I never saw Russia.
The first two, yeah. The first two in this one, I'd say.
Steve, I don't think I need to ask what your best race this season is, do I? How do you feel that you just won the race, mate?
Mm-hmm.
How much pressure were on you to try and keep Harvey, Elisa and Het Bompier behind you? You managed the pressure really well, mate. This is your third race, isn't it, with us? Your third? Or your fourth? So, USA, I can't quite remember what happened, but I definitely remember what happened in Monaco.
We don't talk about USA.
Yeah, you managed that long stint really well on those medium tyres, and you... Jeez. Yeah, then you managed to catch up to Ferg and Knight and finish in P4, so P4 and P1, not bad for your debut for CRL, mate. Are you a full-time driver or a reserve driver? I think you will, proven by this result. A fantastic job. Congratulations to Steve Gamer, Head Bompier, and Harvey Lees. Harvey, nice to see you back on the podium, mate.
Thank you, mate. It's nice to see you, and congrats to you guys as well.
Thank you. You as
See you all in about 2-3 months.
Yeah, new game gonna be good.
well. I hope it will.
See you all next season, guys.
Fix all the glitches and stuff.
Yeah, especially the pit lane.
Yeah.